So, Talcott Parson. So, in study class in detail we discuss about Talcott Parson, their contribution itself also. So, any doubt in Talcott Parson social action? Social action. Social action. If anyone will ask, then can you explain what is mean by social action? Talcott Parson model of social action. What is mean according to Talcott Parson? What is meaning of social action? Yes, right. So, why individual do action or act in terms of attainment of the goal? So, it talks about there must be a goal. Action must be oriented towards the goal, and while attaining the goal, actor have certain situation. Member of society has certain situation, and they also conform the norms and value of the society. The last one he talks about investment of energy. That is one of the important component, most important important component for itself. Uh, no acting of the actor in terms of orientation of the goal. So, yeah, itself in detail we discuss social action and the types of social action. Okay, motivation, value orientation and how the individual is going to face a dilemma. देखिए आज डिस्कस करते हैं हम लोग सोशल सिस्टम. सोशल सिस्टम without the understanding social action we cannot understand the social system. For functioning of the social system, now social action is necessary. That is one of the important component for functioning of the whole social system that we discuss in detail yesterday. देखिए हम लोग सोचने की और समझने की कोशिश करेंगे कि एक्चुअली सोशल सिस्टम है क्या. टालकट पार्सन एक्सप्लेनेशन ऑफ सोशल सिस्टम और टालकट पार्सन द काइंड ऑफ मॉडल ही क्रिएट ऑफ सोशल सिस्टम. He talks about a social system could be anything, right? So, he belongs from the American society, United States society. So, itself create a whole American society as a one social system, right? One social system. By making such kind of model, you can create any society as a one system, right? So, system is nothing but a large society. It is going to contain a large society. Think about in such a way. Now, this is going to contain a one system. We can call it a social system. Social system. Yes. Right. Very good. Okay. So, now what is the meaning of the Talcott Parson to putting such kind of concept? Now that we are going to understand. Now he said a society itself have one kind of social system, and within the society there are many elements. Within the society there are many elements which are functioning, and when these elements will function, only because of all have certain prerequisite function itself to perform, because he was a structural functionalist. So, it talks about each organ of the system, it means each part of society has certain prerequisite function to perform, and then all part start functioning, then one single system will perform or will progress, will growth. So, now what is the meaning of the social system? His meaning and of social system is going to contain the whole society, and this society is containing the all aspect, like itself jitne bhi aspect of society, the organ of society, social institution, social structure, certain norms, value, ethnicity, tradition, culture. Now, all these things whatever we are witnessing, materialistic and non-materialistic kind of things, that we are witnessing in society that going to contain social system like social institution, social system, structure, norms and values, tradition and culture, right? Anything, है ना? Poverty, inequality, marriage, caste, class, creed, है ना? Material, non-material, material and non-material. So what Talcott Parson talks about कि social system is going to contain the everything, whatever we are witnessing in society, and these all things are interconnected. सारे के सारे हैं interconnected to each other, right? All are interconnected to each other. Talcott Parson said कि in social system we can create any society as a one system, and within the social system, within the any society, now it is going to contain the all aspect, norms, value, tradition, culture, itself social institution, social structure, tradition, जितने भी चीज है that human being itself created except natural things, these all phenomena or things come under the system, one system which he called a social system. Further he talks about why this system come into the existence, because that have certain functionality, that's why we created, that's why human being created, right? Because of they have the need. So there is a kind of interlinking, there is a kind of interlinking to each organ of the society which able to maintain order and stability in the society, functionality in society. Now think about any of institution that ignore from our society. Education has certain, education is one of the important social institution for functioning of the society, a smooth functioning of the society. Now think about, we start ignoring education from this social system. It means, because these are interlinked, interconnected, it means ignorance or removal of one social institution is going to impact or influence the other part or other structure of the society. Now think about what would be happen if education would be eliminated from our society. Crime बढ़ जाएगा, degree of socialization is going to decline or deteriorate, kidnapping. It means rather to society progressing forward, we start declining, है ना? Scientific temperament फिर decline होने लगेगा. Again we start thinking about irrationality, theological stage में जाने लगेंगे, right? So it means these all things going to influence our society. आपस में लड़ना झगड़ना शुरू कर देंगे, right? अभी तो पढ़े लिखे भी आपस में लड़ते झगड़ते हैं, हाँ? But that is a interest based. लड़ना झगड़ना is a part of democracy. If we are democratic, we adhere the democratic value, then there is a rational choice to just to question everything, right? So what Talcott Parson assumption of social system, he talks about for functioning of social system, individual action is necessary. Now it is the individual now who created all these aspects into the society for the functioning of the society. So why these the person, the member of society, such kind of aspect of society like social institution, structure, norms, value, culture, tradition, whatever we are witnessing. So the answer is people have certain functional need, they have a goal, and in terms of attainment of the goal they start constructing, making such kind of rules, regulation, things, and so that they can fulfill their need, fulfill their demand itself. So that have also functionality. So what Talcott Parson talks about, individual action is going to influence also the the whole social system, right? Who is living within social system? That is a individual, na? We living within the social system, and human being created all these things. All these things we created, right? It means our action, it means the social action is going to influence the whole social system. Social action is going to influence the social system. So how we can define by definitional remark as a social system? So social system is a collection or gathering of all aspects of the society, all organ of the society, which is further run by or pushed by the individual need. When individual perform, when individual act, and their action lead to the functioning of whole social system. So एक definitional remark लिख लीजिए, what is social system? Social system, according to Talcott Parson, system is a collection of, system is any collection of interrelated parts, objects, things or organisms. Okay. Next लिखिए, in other word, social system can be defined, in other word, can be defined as a set of interdependent elements, interdependent societal elements or parts that can be thought of as a whole. Thought of as a whole, it means one single unit, right? In next bullet point बनाइए एक. So social system basically refer to society, whether it is the smallest, or the largest collectively. Social system refers to society, whether it is the smallest or largest collectively, है ना, which contain all the organs of the society, all the organs of the society, and they are interlinking to each other, okay? And what could be these organ of the society? Family, caste, tradition, sect, religion, norms, value, culture, and institution, structure, materialistic, non-materialistic things, whatever we are witnessing. Yeah. So now further, one thing we have to understand. Now Talcott Parson just here created one social system that we are able to understand, right? one social system he constructed, and he talks about for functioning of the social system, now individual action is becoming one of the important factor. So in detail he talks about individual action and how individual face dilemma that we discussed study class. So now here you see, now we cannot holistically study simultaneously or in a single way the whole social system, because it is very hard for researcher to study each social system at in a single time. Social system, right? So because it is going to contain the every aspect, so it may create a problematic situation for the researcher. So what Talcott Parson said, he just did a partition, divided this social system into different kind of subsystem, right? सबसिस्टम में पूरे के पूरे सोशल सिस्टम को ये डिवाइड कर दिए. Among them, first he called about a cultural system. Cultural system, that is one of the part. Second part, second subsystem, yeah, cultural subsystem, social subsystem, social subsystem, personality system, and biological system. Biological subsystem. Sometimes we call organismic subsystem. Okay, यहाँ तक clear? So what Talcott Parson talks about, कि if in one way we are going to just observe any society, it may create a problematic situation, and even we will try to understand, we cannot get a good picture, good understanding about society. So he start further observing and looking for how we can itself divide a society on the basis of their important structure or their functionality, right? Because he was a structural functionalist. No, he classified, yes, a social system. He classified the social system, and he able to seek out or found some structure in itself a social system, that is a very much important, and without understanding this structure we cannot going to understand any society. So what could be this structure? So he talks about ki in any society, one of the cultural aspect is an important one. One of the cultural aspect is important. Why the cultural aspect is important? Only because of think about culture. What is mean by culture? Culture is nothing but gathering of knowledge, all past knowledge, tradition. Now that come under the culture itself, cultural aspect. So in other word we can say that culture is nothing but a storehouse of knowledge. Because culture is the things that going to gather all past knowledge, the tradition itself. So sometime we can call culture as a cultural subsystem as a storehouse of knowledge. Storehouse of information. Right? Sometimes we can call cultural subsystem as a storehouse of information. Now think about one of the structure he created as a cultural subsystem, that is for any society or sustenance of functioning of any social system or society. Now culture become one of the important factor, important structure. Now just except to culture, now he found the certain sub-social system. Now one social system he created a big society. Now within the big society there are certain kind of organization, a group, right? Certain group, certain organization, certain institution. Now that also act as a one social system, right? That also act as a one social system, which we call as a subsystem, which we call as a subsystem or secondary system, right? Secondary social system. जैसे think about itself. In India, Indian society, the whole Indian society, we created one social system. But now think about what could be the sub-social system within the Indian society. So there are many subsystems in form of organization, a group that is functioning in upper society, like political organization. That may be political system, one smallest subsystem, right? Political organizations, religious organization, right? So what could be these things? These things could be the subsystem, right? Now some of the community itself, है ना, बिजनेसमैन कम्युनिटी, उन लोगों का अपना एक ग्रुप होता है, दैट ग्रुप ऑल्सो कंस्टिट्यूट अ काइंड ऑफ वन सोशल सिस्टम, क्योंकि उनका अपना फंक्शन रहता है, वे ऑफ फंक्शनिंग. तो जब ये सारे के सारे ग्रुप ऑर्गेनाइजेशन फंक्शनिंग करना शुरू करेंगे, देन दैट ऑल्सो प्रमोट द फंक्शनिंग ऑफ द होल सोशल सिस्टम. इंडिया एज ए वन functioning of one society. So what Talcott Parson said, just after the cultural system, now the society contained the subsystem in form of group, social group or organizations, social group or organization. Clear? Now further he talks about, that is good, culture is cultural aspect for functioning of society, the culture is important factor. Now the second one, social subsystem is also there. But what is mean by their explanation of personality system? Now think about, who made the culture? Member of society, who made such kind of group, organization or sub social system? These are the peoples, member of society. So it means the functioning of these things. Now again the personality system, it means the member of society, right? Member of society is one of the important factor for functioning is this system, right? Now further talks about, for the functioning of itself, the individual action, the person action. Now what person needs? कैलोरी, ऊर्जा तो चाहिए ना, एनर्जी तो चाहिए. So now that become the biological subsystem. Energy. Now try to understand here, try to create one picture. Now what Talcott Parson said, it is very hard to understanding the holistically social system, any social system. So further he divided these social system into different dimensions, into different structure. So what he call about, the first structure he divided in form of cultural subsystem, that is one of the important part. The second of a social subsystem, and the third one personality, and the fourth one remain a biological subsystem or organismic subsystem. So what is mean by biological or organismic subsystem? So biological and organismic subsystem is nothing, that also one of the important part which helps that functioning of the society, one of the important part or a structure we can understand. Like think about individual or member of society काम कब करता है? जब ऊर्जा रहता है शरीर में ना, कुछ खाए पिए रहता है तब ना काम करता है भाई. हाँ, बिना खाए पिए काम होगा? एक दिन होगा, 2 दिन होगा, उसके बाद तो नहीं होगा ना. तो एनर्जी इज वन ऑफ द इंपॉर्टेंट फैक्टर्स फॉर फंक्शनिंग ऑफ एनी सोसाइटी. So that's why he talks about, if energy is the storehouse of, sometimes we call a storehouse of energy, biological system as a storehouse of energy, a storehouse of energy. Talcott Parson talks about biological system is a storehouse of energy. So he talks about, for a progress of any social system, these a subsystem must be performed, and for a better understanding also any social system, if we are able to understand these social system, then we can get a good picture about Talcott Parson explanation of social system. जैसे एक एग्जांपल के तौर पे देते हैं, अगेन he created American society as a one social system. Now here we are going to create an Indian society as a one social system, whole Indian society, right? So now for itself functioning or sustenance of any civilization, any society, now the culture become one of the important factors, है ना? If we ignore the cultural aspect, then what kind of society we expect? बिल्कुल जानवर की तरह हो जाएंगे ना, कुछ तो रहेगा नहीं, नॉर्म्स, वैल्यू, है ना, कुछ नहीं रहेगा. So now culture become one of the important aspect also, है ना? That's why we call culture is a storehouse of information, because culture is a the gathering of all past knowledge, gathering of all tradition, norms, value. So even it provide a kind of lesson that we have did something wrong in past, that improve we can in future or in present itself. So it become a lesson for us, lesson for a society. So culture is one of the important aspect, right? Even some of the tradition that coming from the past and even existing today, because of that have certain functionality on the basis of functional need, and they may have the functional need in future also. So that is one of the important aspect of the society, that is cultural system, cultural subsystem. We call as a storehouse of information. Now further think about in functioning of Indian society, now culture become one of the important subsystem. Now India is a one system. Now other than cultural system, now social subsystem also become one of the important factor. Now think about within the larger social system, now the other social subsystem, now that become one of the important. And what could be these social subsystem? Like a certain group, organization that act as a for the functioning of society, which have capability to shape the society, like a political group, pressure group. These are what? These are the group. Organization, certain organization, Indian administrative system or Indian administrative organization, right? Religious organization, these are the become the part of social subsystem. It means these organization and group have also certain degree of functionality, and that also helps in functioning of the whole social system. Now think about cultural and social subsystem. These are two important organ for the functioning of whole social system. But what about the member of society, Indian people? यही तो बनाए हैं कल्चरल सिस्टम और सोशल सब सिस्टम को. So it means individual action also become individual action, the member of society and their action, Indian people action become also one of the important factor for functioning of the whole social system. And when individual will act, जब एनर्जी होगा ना, खाना पीना खाएगा, एनर्जी होगा, so he called biological system or organismic system as a storehouse of information. So that is a picture of his social system. He said the social system is going to contain everything, all aspect of the society, and for functioning of the all aspect of the society, now their interlinking is necessary. And further he talks about, for better understanding any society, if we able to observe or understand their cultural system, social subsystem, personality system and biological system, then we are able to get a good picture ki how society is progressing, how society is developing, and how society is able to maintain order and stability, which further makes a society progressive, which control the society to bring a collapse, right? So these are the picture about social system. यहाँ तो कोई doubt है? Clear? लिख लीजिए कुछ पॉइंट अगर लिखना है तो, या फर्दर एक्सप्लेन करें इसमें आगे. देख लीजिए पर्सनालिटी सिस्टम, वन बाय वन लिख लीजिए ना, वन वन लाइन। फर्स्ट लिखिए तो, फर्स्ट कल्चरल सिस्टम लिख लीजिए, कल्चरल सिस्टम। Cultural system, it constitute the normative pattern, constitute the normative pattern in society. It constitute a normative pattern in society. It includes cognitive belief, value, norms, private moral obligation, gathering of all past knowledge, etc. Yeah. So it is called as a storehouse of information. नेक्स्ट लिखिए पर्सनल सोशल सबसिस्टम, सोशल सबसिस्टम, सोशल सबसिस्टम। नाउ फॉर फंक्शनिंग ऑफ एनी grand social system, or for functioning of any social system, for functioning of any social system, now some of the group, organization, comma, institution become one of the important part or organ, so sometime these things work as a social subsystem, important part for functioning, so these things can be act as a social subsystem, समझ रहे हैं ना, सोशल सबसिस्टम। हाँ, नाउ नेक्स्ट लिखिए पर्सनालिटी सिस्टम। It is concerned with the total social action of an individual, total social action of an individual, क्या total it is concerned with total social action of an individual, that is personality system. So personality system becoming one of the responsive factor, लिखिए ना, तो personality system become one of the responsive factor for the functioning of social subsystem and the cultural system. Social subsystem and functioning of cultural subsystem. Social subsystem and the functioning of cultural subsystem. Clear? Now next one लिखिए biological system. Biological system. it is the physical or biological aspect of reality, social reality. It is the physical or biological aspect of social reality. Yeah. It is called as a storehouse of energy. It is called as a storehouse of energy. It is called as a storehouse of energy. Clear? हाँ? Now देखिए, what is social system that we are able to get some of the picture about, and how this social system is going to function, and how this social system is structured, that he divided into different 4 dimension. He talks about for better understanding. If we divide it, then we can get a picture about how any society or system is going to function, and what are the important element or structure that itself promote the progress and growth of any social system. Now further he talks about Talcott Parson, for maintaining order and stability in society, right, for maintaining a kind of equilibrium condition. So there are certain prerequisite condition, है ना, जिसको हम लोग बोलते हैं equilibrium itself a condition for any social system. Like I talks about कि in social system all organs are interconnected, right? The societal organ are interconnected, and there the one organs or one part of the society is going to influence the other part. So without ignoring one part, then we cannot understand the other aspect of society, because it is going to impact the whole system. So what Talcott Parson talks about, now think about if some aspect of society is not functioning or not working, so in this situation, this social system may collapse. So for functioning or maintenance of the social system, there must be certain degree of equilibrium. It means how the equilibrium is going to maintain in society, or the maintenance of any social system. When the all part will do their own job, all part of society will function as per their need, then it is going to maintain equilibrium condition in society, right? So he created a kind of certain equilibrium condition. So likhiye to, equilibrium condition for any social system. Equilibrium condition for any social system. Equilibrium condition for any social system, right? So he talks about in society or in any social system, there is always working day and night some of the forces, the factor which able to maintain such kind of equilibrium, which able to maintenance the pattern of the social system. So what could be these possible factors which are working for maintenance or bringing equilibrium to these social system? He talks about there are 2 factors in form of socialization and social control. One, he talks about socialization. And second is social control. Now think about why socialization is important. But his approach that the individual action is one of the important factor for functioning of the whole social system. So individual action must be a relevant act. It must be goal oriented, and in terms of orientation of the goal, their action should be socialized kind of action, है ना, anticipatory socialization जिसको बोलते हैं. So socialization become one of the important factor. अब think about कि आपको कोई goal attain करना है society में, हाँ, you want to become what, IAS officer. So there are legitimate way to crack examination and then to become a part of that organization, huh? So there is a legitimate way. रेदर यू एडॉप्टेड इलीजिटिमेट वे, किसी को किडनैप कर लिए, किसी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन बिल्डिंग को हाईजैक कर लिए और बोले कि नहीं हमको आईएएस ऑफिसर बनाओ तभी हम यहाँ से निकलेंगे, नहीं तो सबको मार देंगे. व्हाट इज मीन बाय दैट? इज ए इलीजिटिमेट वे. So, in terms of attainment of the goal, your socialization processes are not a good way. That is not a kind of anticipatory socialization. That is illegitimate. That is a illegal way. तो गवर्नमेंट वहां पे फोर्सेस भेजेगी, वही आपको मार देगा फिर. So, for maintenance of performance of any society, for functioning of any society, socialization become one of the important. Now, socialization not only